Okay, so welcome. Today we're going to start on our backs once again. We're going to work through the side body and do a few back bends as well. So get nice and comfortable onto the mat. We're going to keep the legs outstretched for today. So we don't want the knees up, just take the feet long, roll the shoulders back and down, just lie down on the mat kind of as comfortably as you can. Reach those heels out as much as possible. Take a couple of breaths. Start to feel a little bit heavier into the chest. You might even take, say, your right hand, just place that onto the chest and then really notice that chest fall on that exhale. Have a gentle scan through the body. Notice those points of contact with the mat. And then slowly deepen the breath. So we'll just settle in for a couple of moments with the breath. Feel a little bit heavier on the mat. Double check if there's any parts of the body that feel particularly tight, maybe really open, maybe you're raring to go for the energy. And then take a slightly deeper breath. Feel the chest get a little bit larger. And then on your next inhale, we're going to draw the hands up above the head. Reach as far as you can. Almost like stretching in the morning. Reaching the heels out as much as possible as well. Top of the head gets nice and tall. Stretch through. And then we're going to grab left wrist with the right hand. And then kind of shimmy the hands up to the top right-hand corner of the mat. So we gain this little bend, side bend into the left side of the body. If you want to, you might bring that left leg just over the top of the right leg so that sort of both the feet are in the bottom right-hand corner of the mat, but it feels like the left hip is still on the left side of the mat. We're keeping the chest nice and open, chest and hip really open. Gaze might still be up towards the ceiling. You could even close the eyes for a few moments. Just feeling that nice big stretch through left side body. And then gently inhale, reach the hands as high as you can. Uncross the legs, press through the heels again. Big inhale, big exhale, opposite wrist this time. So grab right wrist with left hand. Shimmy over towards the top left corner. Either stay there, kind of working gently towards the corner, seeing how that feels into the right side of the body. If that's all fine, right foot crosses over the top, and then you kind of bring both the feet towards that bottom left-hand corner. Feel nice and open with the hip and the chest, so we've not closed up at all. It still feels like the back is supported onto the mat. Even breath, and then just feel a little bit heavier as you kind of breathe into that stretch. Great, so we'll gently release on that next inhale. Take both the hands up nice and high. Uncross the legs, press through the heels as much as you can. Nice big inhale, big exhale. Draw the knees up in towards you. Give yourself a little hug in towards the chest with both the knees. See how the lower back feels. And then just give yourself a little hug in, squeeze it nice and tight. You might take small little circles with the knees, so a couple of options. You can either go around with both the knees together or work a little bit more into the lower back, or if you want to take it more into the hips, you can take both the knees independently of each other. So making kind of two little circles, just rotating the knees around as far as they want to go back around the other way as well. That will work more into the hips. And then gently hug knees in. Release whichever option you've gone for. Just hug the knees in again. One more time. Nice big inhale. Big exhale. We'll roll to one side. You're going to gently press into the hands. Just come through to a quick cross legs, Sukhasana easy pose. So look for that little lift into the chest. Roll shoulders back and down. Take a nice big inhale in. Arms come up as you do that. And then nice and slow. Draw right hand to the mat, and then just take yourself over into that little side bend as much as you like. So you might be really supported or quite stable into the hips and that left knee, which means you might not come quite as far over. You may also find that you can keep releasing kind of a little bit further. We're looking for that chest to stay open, so the temptation is to kind of close down. We're keeping open, and the gaze is kind of forwards. You can also have the gaze up towards the hand or up towards the top hand or the bottom hand, but just releasing to one side as much as you can to get that nice big stretch. Big inhale, hands up high. Big exhale, shoulders away from ears slightly, so let those shoulder blades slide down back, and then we'll take the left hand onto the mat. Come over as far as it's comfortable. Might be completely different on this side, might be exactly the same. Feel nice and heavy through that right leg, right hip. And then we're keeping that right elbow kind of away from the ear as well. So it's not like we're crashing onto the ear. We're keeping open with the chest, releasing into that side bend. And then you've got this bottom hand to help support, but not crash into. So it's not like all our weight is there. Just as long as you get that stretch into the side body, that's what we're focusing on. That's really the main thing we care about. And that rootedness of the hips. Gently inhale. Bring the hands up high. Reach, 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 reach. We're going to interlace the fingers. Turn the palms up the other way. Just reach as high as you can. Keep the hands up above the head. Turn the middle part of the chest over that right leg. And kind of line up that middle part of the chest with the right knee. Really keep the hands up above the head as best you can. It's going to stretch nicely into the upper back. Big inhale, big exhale. Gently turn the middle part of the chest around and then track over towards left knee. Keep up nice and high with the hands. Great. And then gently inhale, big exhale. Release the hands down. Perfect. Let's roll the shoulders back and down a couple of times, see how they feel. And then we're going to come off cross-legged. We'll rotate round, so we're kind of on the mat seated, but the feet are forwards. So you're going to plant the feet to begin with. Just take the hands back behind you. Take a little bit of effort into the hands, so enough to lift the chest up, so it doesn't feel like we're kind of closed up or anything. We're really lifting the chest out and away. Root yourself through fronts of the feet, so feet are in line with the knees and hips. Hands are in line as well, best they can be. Fingertips can either be away from you, or they could be towards you. If you've got really unhappy wrists, then what you can do is kind of make little fists instead and press down into the fist. If you go for one of the flat hand options, then really try to keep those knuckles as flat as possible so we keep a bit of weight out of the wrists. When you're ready, we're going to gently inhale, just lift the hips up as high as you want to. So you might just be a couple of moments and then releasing back down. You might find that you can lift a tiny bit higher, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then you come up a little bit higher and then release. And again, we'll inhale, draw the hips up as high as you like. And then keep going, 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 going. And then you should find you reach a kind of, or maybe you reach a kind of bridge style lift. So it feels like we've got a nice line from knee to hip to shoulder. It might be lower, you might find that you're a tiny bit lower or wherever really. We're just working the upper body and then releasing. If that all feels absolutely fine, you're going to turn the fingers around the other way so the fingers face towards the heels. And then root down as much as you can. We'll start to really press into those hands. Fronts of the feet have a little bit of effort going through them. We'll gently lift. Again, it might be a couple of moments and then just releasing, working with the breath. So slowly lifting, and then we'll keep lifting, 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 and then staying nice and supported. So we're double checking the feet haven't come away from the knees. Really pressing into the hands, lifting that chest up, lifting the hips up as much as you can. Head might be comfortable just sort of keeping an eye on the rest of the body, nice and straight, or you could find you want to release that head back, if that is comfortable. So it's not something you want to force. It should just feel quite natural to let the head release back behind you. As you do that, hopefully the hips don't start to sink, we don't start to crash into the wrists. We've got a bit of effort pressing out into the arms and the shoulders. Fronts of the feet have a bit of weight. We're using the toes, we can lift the toes for a couple of moments and then just gently release, nice and slow. Draw yourself back down. Perfect. Couple of breaths to release. So you might repeat exactly that. Either of the options, hands away from you towards you. On those fists, you could just lift for a couple more moments. We've got another little option. So if you want to take the feet together this time, hands can be whichever way you liked most. But then we're going to extend the feet slightly so you can keep them together, but keep them straight rather than bent. And then this time we're going for our reverse plank. So you're taking the feet as far forwards as you can, trying to get those toes towards the mat, lifting
those hips. So there's like a nice line from feet to knees to hips to chest. And then let that head back in line as well, if that is comfortable. Lift, 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 and then just gently release, nice and slow. Going back down. Great. Release the arms, shake those out. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then we'll come around. So we'll press into the hands. We're going to swing the legs round and then bring ourselves up to kneeling. And then find your way to lift into the chest. Something you can always do if you're uncomfortable on the knees is double up on the mat, so just fold that round and then kind of kneel on to get a bit more space. Especially if you're on a hardwood floor or something, it's always really uncomfortable just to be on the knees for a while. Once we're nice and rooted, you're going to take that right foot out as much as you like. So you might find that you've got to move the left knee a little bit further under the hip. Really press into that outside right part of that foot. So we've got a couple of options. You might plant the foot so the toes facing forwards. The other option is to take it so that the toes are pointing away from you. One is going to be a lot more comfortable. Just stick with that one. Whichever one is nice and comfy. Roll shoulders back and down. Keep this sense of alignment on the left-hand side. Big inhale. Going to draw the hands up as high as you like. Big, big exhale. We're going to take right hand down the leg and then left hand comes up over the head or over the left ear. We've got this sense of open hip, open chest, and then we're drawing ourselves over as much as you want to. So ask yourself, are you getting that nice big stretch on left side body? And then does it feel like you can maybe just work that right hand a little bit closer towards the right foot, but through the release and breathing into our stretches rather than forcing anything. Nice and open, big inhale, reach up high. Big, big exhale, we're going to take left hand down, so we'll kind of bring ourselves into a little side plank. Maybe your right hand comes to hip. You can stay super supported, lift the chest, lift the hip. If that is all good, right hand comes up high. Next step is to draw that left foot underneath us. So we're in like a little bit of a balance side bend. Big inhale, big exhale. Maybe hand comes to hip again. And then you might stay here, just play around with that balance, thinking about is my right foot nice and firm into the mat, especially at the back edge of that right foot. Really pressing into the hands, still rooting down through the knuckles, the base of the thumb. If you want to go a little bit further, then you're going to take left foot underneath and come into your full side plank. So really pressing out the way, lift these hips up, especially that right hip as much as possible. Draw the hands up high, heads in line with the rest of the body. Big inhale, big exhale, release that hand down, take right knee back to where it was, swing that round, draw yourself back up, and we'll head back to kneeling. Couple of breaths, see what that's done to one side of the body. And then we're going to gently inhale. We'll start to take left foot out this time. So working on the other side, look for that alignment. Right shoulder over right hip, over right knee. Heading towards Parigasana gate pose again. So think if that left foot, was it more comfortable, or the other foot, was it more comfortable with the toes forwards? Was it more comfortable with the toes away from you? Whichever one you like more, just stick with that. Really press into that left edge. If you've got the toes out away from you, then you're pressing into the front part of that foot, just below the toes. Slowly gain your foundation, so root down through that knee, through the foot, gently inhale, raise the hands up nice and high. Big inhale, big exhale, draw left hand as far down the leg as it wants to go. You're going to take that right arm over the ear. Again, keep the chest open, always wants to close up, and then enjoy this nice big stretch on the right side body. Inhale, and then exhale. You might find that hand wants to creep a little bit closer. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it just wants to stay nice and high, supported. This side could be completely different from the other side. And then slowly, slowly, working into that side body. We'll inhale, draw the hands up high. Big exhale, release that right hand down towards the mat. Left hand can come to left hip. Start to even out slightly. So left foot, left hip, left shoulder, and then the head feels it's in a nice line with the spine. So we don't have this sense of the head kind of falling off the back, or the head's not too high. It's nicely in line. We're open with the chest, open with the hip. Hand can stay on hip. You might find that you want to open out that hand. It's going to help open the chest slightly. Inhale, and then exhale. Another big inhale, and then exhale. On that next inhale, you're going to really root through the hands, so particularly other side of the knuckles, base of the thumb. Take that effort out of the wrist. Swing the right foot underneath you, and then keep yourself nice and balanced. So you've always got that metaphor of squidging yourself between two panes of glass, using loads of poses. This is one of those moments. You're trying to keep yourself as kind of 2D as possible, as squashed as possible, supported. Looking for that space into the chest, top head's nicely in line. And then whenever you like, maybe that hand comes back to the hip, that left hand. Take a little bit more effort into that right hand, and then swing the right foot underneath. And then draw the other hand up if you want to. We're in full side plank. Great. Take that left hand back nice and slow. I'm going to take the right foot back down as well, supported side plank. See how it felt into the right arm. And then as slowly as you like, we're going to rotate that right foot back round. We'll rebend ourselves back to kneeling. We'll release ourselves back to kneeling. Shake the hands, release into the wrists for a couple of moments. And then we're going to roll through back onto our backs where we began. But this time we are taking those knees up tall. Roll the shoulders back and down. Completely release through the arms, so maybe they're down either side of you. You can always take them up either side as well if you want a bit more space into the chest. Just gently bring the knees over towards the right hand side. Nice relaxed supine twist. And then gently inhale. Draw those over to the other side. So releasing with both the knees to the left. Feeling a bit heavier with the body and the breath. Slowly take knees back up to centre. And then we're going to hug knees in towards you again. Give yourself a nice big hug. You might take those circles, so could be both the knees together again. Maybe going around one way nice and gently. Really thinking about how that plays into the lower back. Or you're going around both knees independently, noticing how it stretches into the hips. And then we're working to deepen the breath. Releasing a little bit more, and then slowly let the feet release back down onto the mat. We'll just take one quick bridge pose before we extend out to Shavasana. So double checking those feet are just underneath the knees. Whichever option you like most, so maybe just releasing the hands, you might firm through those hands, you could take the hands up above the head, but you've got to slowly lift the tailbone, lift the hips. Think of tabletop pose earlier where we were trying to get those hips as high as possible, but also opening into the chest. So it's not the lift of the hips is most important. We're trying to draw this chest so it's nice and open. And then even with the breath as well. Double check the fronts of the feet if they've got a little bit of effort going through them. So we feel nicely supported. Is the back really happy? And then gaze up towards the ceiling. You might even close the eyes for a few moments. And then big inhale, big exhale. Roll nice and slow. Let that back release down onto the mat. And then as slowly as you like, you're going to take one foot long, followed by the other foot. Have the palms face upwards. Nice big in-breath. Nice big exhale as well. Have a gentle scan from the toes, the feet, each of the legs, hips, lower back, upper back, each of the arms, elbows, forearms, hands, fingers, and fingertips. And feel a little bit heavier
across the chest, the neck, the jaw, face, eyes, ears, right way to the crown, the top of the head. And then just give yourself 3 breaths to release. Great. So as slowly as you like, you can begin to move fingers, move the toes, stretch those heels out again. Reach the hands as high as you like. So taking them up high above the head, reach those heels as well. See how the side body feels, and then we'll gently exhale. Draw the knees in towards the chest, give yourself a little hug in towards you. We'll roll to one side. Press into the hands. Come through to that cross leg position. And then bring the hands into the chest. Namaste. Big well done for practicing today. Hope you enjoyed, and hopefully see you soon as well. Thanks. Bye-bye.